right, welcome to what are we calling this?
I just asked you that.
I didn't even say.
We
Well,
gonna have what we gonna start calling these things our first breaking bread session.
yeah, breaking
Meaning
bread.
what we want to do is share a little knowledge, share a little advice, share a little information, break down a little political perspectives and things of that nature. Just trying to help our family, our people have a different perspective, a different idea, and based on the knowledge, based on information that's been established.
All right. So the first topic that we're talking about today, talking about falling. And so it was on my mind because other day we were chasing Charles. And if you're like, who is Charles? Charles is our family dog, our fur baby. And so I had on these long I don't even think it was him that made me fall. I had these pants on that were long and I fell. And everybody's like, you okay? You all right? And I'm like, I'm good. I'm good. And I actually was good. I wasn't hurting or anything.
She thought, but she
Yeah.
had a whole bruise on her arm this morning. I said, baby, what happened to you? You know what I'm saying? Because she said she fell and she did like this. I said, boo, you look like Michael Jordan over there in some bell bottoms.
So I was like, I'm good, and I really thought I was good because a lot of times, when you first have an injury, either because I was also excited as well because the family was down, so I was excited, so I made it even feel anything. So sometimes when you fall, it's that shock, and you may not even notice
From
that.
your adrenaline.
Yeah.
I don't want nobody really to see, so you kind of block it out right
Yeah.
quick. You really don't
Yes,
rest it
like,
all the way, right?
Yes, you don't rest. And that goes into, let's talk about, like, sometimes, like, how we suppress our feelings.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes.
so the pain could, that's how it goes into, like, suppressing and not even realizing. That's repression when you don't even realize that you're pushing feelings and things down. But we're talking, so let's relate it to the physical. So, like I said, I didn't feel anything. So let's go to the next day. I wake up.
Collateral consequences, y'all.
Oh my gosh, my whole body is aching, and I first thing I said when I woke up, I was like, why is my arm hurting? Like I had almost forgot that I had fell, and that's
A
I
whole
didn't even
nother
think a whole nother topic. I almost
Now
had
she
forgot.
done went down the rabbit
I
hole.
did. I done went down a
Went
rabbit
down the rabbit
hole
hole.
because I totally forgot that I had failed. When I woke up in the morning, I was like, why is my arm hurting? Then I just kind of shook it off. I don't know why my arm hurt. Then, babe, you see.
Then she needed to assess their damage. I say, baby,
Yeah.
have you seen this?
Have
Do
you
you see
seen
what
it?
you looked? You all bruised up
Yeah.
on your arm and stuff. Have you assessed this? Have you looked at the damage that she had suppressed unknowingly to herself? She said, baby, I didn't even know that was her. I said, so why you think you hurting then? You fell yesterday. You did the Michael Jordan.
Yeah.
But she didn't really register it. But she did register it, but didn't really register it.
Yes. So, I guess the question. But first, let's go with this. How often do we fall? Even like, how often do we not have opportunity to process what our feelings, emotions? How, like you said, to assess the damage. How did it impact us mentally, physically, emotionally, spiritually? The fall. How did the fall, the break, the trauma? How did it impact you? And because you fall down 7, get up 8. But how do you get up 8?
8 times.
How do you get up? So talk to me, Zawayla, and you tell me, like just me experiencing that physically, how I didn't even pay any mind, like, and how do I keep going on with the pain that I'm feeling? How do I keep going on when I've had a break, when I've had a fall, when I've experienced trauma, when I've lost a loved one, when I've lost a job, when I've lost a relationship, when I've experienced the divorce? How do I keep moving forward? And I ain't even took time to assess the damage. And how does that impact us? That's a lot. Ooh, let him break it down.
Well,
that was a lot.
First of all, you're not gonna be at full capacity. You know what I'm saying? Because you have took an injury, you have self-harmed yourself in some form or fashion. But a lot of times we're going through this war in life. You know what I'm saying? On the battlefield of the mind, that we do not assess our the damage that occurred to us. and we just keep sustaining wounds. We could keep sustaining an injury
Mm-hmm.
over and over and over. Little micro cuts, little minute injuries. Then you get a little more impact. And then you really can't speak about it to most people, you know what I'm saying? Because, like, when I was growing up, you get an injury, it wasn't a
Mm-hmm.
big deal, you know. We really didn't go to the hospital a lot. It was just like a cultural thing, you know what I'm saying? So we learned to just suppress the pain. It wasn't that big of a deal, you know what I'm saying, to incur a medical expense at the time, right? It was just how the times
Yeah.
was. So over time, I guess it made an imprint in your mind that, some things are better. I don't have enough energy to address the situation. I don't have enough time to address the situation. I'm still in survival mode. I still got to keep moving. I still got to guard my thoughts. I still got to guard my mind. I still got to try to protect my emotions and my feelings. And I'm scattered all over the battlefield. I'm trying to do this, trying to do that, trying to do this, trying to do that. But first of all, I need to assess the injury, stand on the rock, have some faith, go into my quiet place and have a
Mm-hmm.
moment to reflect on, man, why I keep on sustaining these battle wounds,
Yeah.
these type of things in life.
Yeah. And I have seen that a lot of people don't even think that they have experienced trauma. Like when in therapy we have to do intake forms.
Yeah.
And one of the questions like is like, have you experienced trauma? And most of them be like, no.
No.
Yeah, automatically no.
As a first response.
And then soon as they begin to speak from their heart and tell their story,
It's
it's a story. It's
already trauma
all
rooted.
trauma rooted. And I guess the other thing is like the people will say, "Well, I don't have the time to assess the damage. I don't have the time." But I think when you don't take the time in the long run,
You ain't gonna fortify yourself for the next attack. You
yeah.
actually become more vulnerable. You become way more weaker. And since you didn't assess the battle strategy, you know what I'm saying, and your adrenaline, meaning I'm
Mhm.
just going off how I got to survive, I gotta keep going, I gotta keep going. Then I don't know that I'm just running into my own self destruction
Mhm.
because I didn't take the time to self care.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So in effect, you know what I'm saying, that's a grave mistake on the battlefield, you know what I'm saying, of the mind. You know what I'm saying? Because you got to be mindful of things. You got to be mindful of the minute cuts. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
Because over time you can bleed out from a lot of thousand cuts, right? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like Tupac actually said, right? He said, you know what I'm saying, a coward dies a thousand deaths. That means, you know what I'm saying, in his mind, he took a lot of concussions about how he couldn't get over the fear of being harmed, the fear of putting himself at risk, the putting himself in jeopardy. But spiritually, he was limiting his power, right? So he was taking internal wounds,
Yeah.
right, that harmed his self belief, his self uh, projection of self.
Yeah.
So we kind of go within. You're trying to shrink within.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And can't work within your power.
Yeah. And you mentioned something. You said self care. Let's talk a little bit about soul care. Especially as believers, we have to address the soul. And what is the soul? The soul is the seat of our emotions, our will. What do we do? And what do we think? And that impacts us when we are just not ad-
Nah.
not taking care of those things. When you're just allowing access to, like the Bible tells us to guard our heart, right? Because
Yeah.
out of it flows, the well springs of life.
Life.
Yeah, and then it also tells us, to guard our mind as well. Why? Because it tells us to capture every thought and make it obedient to
Obedience.
Christ.
Wow.
Yeah.
But that is the word though. But also we living in a world of principalities and
Exactly.
spirits unseen, and you know what I'm saying, digital enemies that go go unnoticed to most people, you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Because you have gradually been introduced to what they say the world, right? You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? But the world is a better place because God said He came to bring a sword, and we don't really divulge in what that means. But the sword is to divide certain people. You know what I'm saying? Because certain people are thinking on a spectrum that is negative, right? You know what I'm saying? From the influences they get from invisible violence,
Yeah.
right? Going back to the battlefield of the mind, we have to talk about invisible violence again, right? You know what I'm saying? That's the things that harm you when you say, hey man, I just got this brand new car and now I'm rolling down the street and I see my homeboy with a better car. Right, you know what I'm saying, and that assault your mind, or you see a commercial to say, "Oh, this new car came out with this new feature." Now you struggling to get this and get that because you have been assaulted in your mind, right? To think that you need things outside of yourself to find value, you know what I'm saying, to find worth. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? So you don't really appreciate the small things like your eternal self, your body, your spirit, your character, all the things that are intangible, you know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying, you devalue. But you
Yeah.
value the things that has a price tag on it. You know what I'm saying? But life is free, but we don't believe that. No, life ain't free. It costs us a lot of money to live. But it doesn't.
Yeah.
Right? A lifestyle is expensive.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But life is free.
And then when you begin to identify, you make those things who you are, your identity. The things, the cars, the relationships, the lifestyle.
The necklace,
Yeah.
the money, what you call money.
And then when you lose those things because you thought they were your identity, you lose yourself, and that's why people are feeling so lost and like, I don't know who I am,
Yeah.
because you had yourself wrapped up into things that are not who you
You
are.
truly are. So then you got to go back to the beginning, right? In Genesis, you know what I'm saying? When Adam and Eve found themselves naked, you have to ask yourself, who are you naked? You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? So if you was out offered a invite to a banquet, right? You know what I'm saying? To the president, to the White House, right? You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? And you lost your dress that you had made special for the event. You spent
Mm-hmm.
nice money for it. You did all these things, and so happened you lost it. Your luggage got stolen. Whatever happened, whatever occurred, would you or would you not go to that event?
Well, probably most people, if you felt like you wasn't dressed for the part, you wasn't red carpet ready, um, most people probably wouldn't, because you feel like you wasn't prepared for the occasion.
But you got the invite on your merit though, your ability to do. This is an achievement award that they brought you here for. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? So they didn't come. They didn't ask you to come here for your clothes, what your outer appearance look like. They said from your merit, what you are capable of doing, and what you have already achieved, and what you have
Mm-hmm.
already done.
Yeah.
Your merit, judge the man by his character, right?
Yeah.
The things that he has done.
Yeah.
That is his fruit, right?
Mm-hmm.
They asking you to come from your fruit, but you embarrassed about this
Yeah.
because you ain't what they say presented yourself. But presentation is a lot now, cause the Sprite commercial told us that, right? Sprite, image is everything, right? You know what I'm
Mm.
saying? See how they invisibly play
Yeah.
with your mind though, cause Sprite is a commercial, and that's what they did say, image and everything.
Yeah.
But that's just a truth, not the
The truth.
truth.
And then that goes into, that's why we have to guard our gates, our eye gates, our ear gates, all your gates. What are you consuming? What are you allowing yourself to receive in that's impacting your appetite? What are you
Yep.
consuming? What are you consuming? Then,
Accelerating your addictions.
yeah, it
You know
does.
what I'm saying? Fragnating your thought process, creating a double mind. You know what I'm saying? What the Bible say? A double-minded man is
Mm-hmm.
unstable in all his ways.
Yeah,
So that's why we have to be mindful, brothers and sisters.
that's true.
That's why we have to be self-reflective, right? That's why we got to understand that it's nothing wrong with us healing. There's nothing wrong with us healing. We are survivors,
Yeah,
right? And we all been injured. We
yeah,
all been hurt. We all been harmed. I know I have personally. You know what I'm saying? I know I've been traumatized. Prison was a trauma to me. But I really wasn't aware of it until I became self-conscious of myself, my feelings, my emotions, what actually occurred, being truthful to self. Like, yeah, I actually was a slave. I actually bowed down to lack of knowledge, right? Because I didn't know. And enslaved myself. And I remember being younger, that was something that was inherent to me. Like, I'd never be a slave, right? They'll never enslave us. But in fact, I actually, you know what I'm saying, self-inflicted harm on myself from the lack of knowledge that allowed me to be incarcerated. And you can superimpose that on just your life, right? You know what I'm saying? Certain situations or circumstances, choices that you make can imprison you mentally. You know what I'm saying? Can harm you from the mental perspective. You know what I'm saying? To make you unhealthy because there's 5 pillars, once again, of health.
Yeah.
Right? You know what I'm saying? That's your spiritual health, your emotional health, your mental health, your financial health, and your social health. If any one of these things are out of alignment, you're not healthy.
Yeah.
Right? But
Right.
we're just taught basically to just focus on your physical health.
Yeah.
That's why I say we need to unlearn and relearn, right? And to become disciples again right now. I'm talking about discipleship. My wife, you know what I'm saying, is you know, she's a great, great servant of the Lord. She's always about her father's business. And one of the things that allowed me to be vulnerable is that I've witnessed, right? And the key word here is witness, right? You know what I'm saying? I bear witness to her being a firm steward of what God has given her. You know what I'm saying? A grounded soldier in God's army. And she built that book, you know, from her meditations, from her pain, from her reading, from her experiences, from all these things, right? And she comprised this book together. That one, this one, this one right here too. Beautiful book. And this book. Now, a lot of people look at this material and be like, those are just books. But I've seen God work in her and allow her to cry these books out. Pray these books out. You know what I'm saying? Go into herself, the library, her hurt, her pain, her compassion, her love, and develop these books. You know what I'm saying? Because she's always opened her heart to be, you know what I'm saying, a doer of Christ. Right? But she had to go to do a lot of self-evaluation. But I let her speak on those type of things herself.
You got me over here trying not to cheer up.
Oh, yeah, that's the other thing. A straight cry, baby.
Oh gosh, yeah. Each one of these books were given to me from God, you know, and also because I'm one of those people who want, like, how can I help somebody else? Like, a lot of times, like, when I was on my journey, doing a lot of things, sometimes, like, I felt like I didn't have a blueprint.
Yeah, most of us don't.
Yeah, I don't have a blueprint. How I'm supposed to do this?
But you did have
Yeah,
one.
well, the word, but like the word is the blueprint.
Yeah.
But a lot of times, like when you don't have, like you have a relationship, but with God, but it's surface level. But also, like when you're going into like entrepreneurship, I don't have anybody in my family necessarily that's has a private practice. How do you run that? How do you start that? How do you do this? How do I all these ideas and thoughts and things that how do I do this?
Yeah.
And so then you running around here because I was trying to do things in my own might, in my own strength. And the thing is, when God gives you something, you have to give it back to Him, and because you're gonna do it by His Spirit, Lord. You don't have to work yourself to death and burn yourself out trying. But that goes back to what we said. In survival mode.
In survival mode, man.
And I was a single mom. I was a teen mom. And I was like, failing wasn't a choice. So it was like, you know, I'm talking to God. I'm praying God. And even when I was younger, okay, I'm teaching in the church. But, you know, you caught up into what the world says you do. Okay, you got to go to school. You got to go do this. And you got to do this. You got to provide. You got to do this. So I'm hustling and I'm bustling trying to do it. And all along, and then, oh my gosh, let's go rewind it back. Because just even being in this season of like where I've been in the season of be still, right?
Yeah, you had to learn
And
that too.
yeah,
Though.
well, yeah, God
That
made
was
me
a
sit
big
down.
thing.
A
Like,
big thing. He made me sit down. Be still. Blood pressure 190 over 100. Be still.
yeah, it's okay. I had to actually tell this woman that, like, hey man, it's
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah.
Chill now. You
Chill
do too
out.
much now. Come on
Be
now.
still. And so in that be still, I had the time to stop and go over all those. I began to process those feelings that I had stuck in my pocket. Like what we just said, when I never assessed the damage.
Never said the
Never, I didn't
name.
never. Even though I was a person that, so just imagine I'm a person that always self reflects, right? I
Yeah,
self reflect. I write goals. I write vision plans.
that's true. That's true.
Um, been to school for
Multiple things.
yeah,
But you was
for therapy,
therapy.
for and all those things. But I'm just going, because these are what the patterns of the world. You just moving, you're hustling, and you're bustling, and we don't realize how important. A lot of time we forgot about the Sabbath, because the Sabbath is about rest.
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 Peace be still.
And we don't understand how the enemy utilize busyness. Because what is he out? He's out to kill, steal, and destroy. And he'll utilize you to kill, steal, and destroy. And if you out there thinking that you're supposed to be hustling until you die, there ain't no truth in that.
That is not how
That
we
is
supposed
not
to be
how
living,
it works.
man. It's not.
That is not how it's working. Show if you're a believer. You're a child of God. That is not how we're supposed to move. It's not. And so we got to rethink. And that's about the soul care.
Right on. Because like they say in the book, my people perish for the lack of knowledge. It says this over and over and over and over and over again.
Yeah.
We perish for the lack of knowledge. And that's why we don't know our legs. We unlimited with God's power.
Yeah.
But you have to surrender to that. And that's we so guarded in life these days, that's almost impossible.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because you just been trying to survive in this war. And most of us don't even know we're in a war. They think the things that happen in the Bible are like fairy tales and fables, though.
Yeah.
In reality, it's the truth. Where did the demons go? Where did these spirits go? Where did these principalities go? The books didn't tell you it was the end, so there had to be a continuation of these things. You know what I'm saying? A metamorphosis of these things.
Yeah.
But you can see them and you can feel them
can.
if you have discernment, right?
Yeah.
But so many of us are of this world, and so many of us are traumatized by certain things that our pride want to let us show vulnerability. And in a lot of ways, and that's something I had to learn, like learn, relearn, and just truly accept. Because you can know a thing and not accept it as the truth.
Yeah.
I had to accept the truth as the being vulnerable is actually a superpower in certain situations and circumstances.
Yeah.
You know
And
what I'm
it
saying?
shows strength and courage.
Yeah, but I also say choose your battles wisely too. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? So the wise man understands that there's strength on both spectrums.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So, but we're not taught that though.
Yeah.
Once again, we're not taught that, and that goes back to another subject we want to discuss tonight. You know what I'm saying, on this baking bread table tonight. Our first breaking bread conference, our first breaking bread session, I should say. You know what I'm saying? Because we do want to feed the people the knowledge.
All right. And then we're gonna get ready to wrap it up. But I want to bring note to what this shirt says as we talked about soul care and self-care. It says you are a daughter before you are a disciple. And as well, you are a son before you are a disciple. So God doesn't need you to perform because he loved us first. He loves you for you. He don't need your performance. You don't got to earn his love. You don't got to earn his grace. You are sons and daughters before you are a disciple.
Yeah. He knew you before he knew the hairs on your head.
Yeah.
You know
And he
before
counts
you
your
was
tears.
born.
He counts your
Tears before you were born.
Yeah.
But you got to also understand that even though you've been injured in life, you know what I'm saying, God is the healer. It's just simple as that. You know what I'm saying? And if you confess to be a believer, you got to understand you can't separate your conduct from your what, Keisha?
Belief.
You can't separate your conduct from your belief. You know, so you have to get in tune with yourself.
Yeah.
You know, you got to command yourself.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You got to be disciplined to yourself.
Yeah.
You got to be able to assess yourself
Yeah.
to be able to move and advance in life. And a lot of us just don't want to do that. We want to take the easy way out.
Which
And,
is not. And
but the battle is growing, family. The battle is growing.
yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It ain't just brewing. It's already here. And if you're not mentally, emotionally, spiritually grounded, you're gonna have a difficult time in this season.
Yeah.
You're gonna see things and experience things that are gonna make you want to cleave to your family, but they're not gonna be there because the lack of love. And the Bible, if nothing else, you don't even really believe the Bible. A lot of y'all, or this word and that word, the semantics of it. The Bible is simple. And I learned this from a dude who had a live sentence who said he went years and years wrestling with the Lord. Similar to Malcolm X, right? And he told me on the Rec Yard of the Walls unit that he wrestled with God. He didn't believe in God. He was a disbeliever. And one night, God just came to him. He said he had peace. And he knew that he's supposed to love his brothers. Love is the only thing that you're supposed to have. But first, you have to love yourself again, people. You know what I'm saying? You got to love yourself again. And they done did every trick, every deception, every play, every ploy, every maneuver, every strategy, every metric under the sun to make you not trust anymore. For you don't love anymore. And we need to be restored in that area. But first you must be aware of that.
Yeah. Yeah. And so, and when we come back the next time, we're going to talk about the A7. And that goes into the awareness and all the way up into the advance where the fruit are. But we thank you for taking the time and listening to us. And we want to converse with you and let's talk about, and we want to hear from you. What topics do y'all want to hear about and that y'all want to talk about for the everyday us? We just the everyday people that's trying to make it and have unity and community.
Yeah, because we understand that there's strength in numbers.
Yeah.
And in these times, we need to grow as a people. You know what I'm saying? We need to come together as a unit.
Yeah.
We need to start talking about group economics. We need to start talking about that. We are social people. You know what I'm saying? We like to socialize. And we're losing that natural ability or that natural desire to want to do it. And that's not natural, brothers and sisters. We have to do better. And it's time to change. We must get regrounded, refocused, re-energized, and have a new vision for ourselves. Not just for ourselves, for our children, our grandchildren.
Yeah.
It's our time.
Yeah. It is our time for us to come together. And it's our time, as he said, to fortify our minds, our spirits, our soul. It is time. It is time. And we just not saying it. Like, I mean, it's about to make me cry. Like, it's time.
It's time.
It's time. And I'm just, yeah, like the tears about to roll down my eyes because a lot of us can't see. And sometimes we can't see because we don't want to see. And like as it's a scripture that talks about, you know, we see
and don't see,
and don't
hear
see,
and don't hear,
and don't hear, and that's because a lot of times we don't want to see and we don't want to hear. You want to, like, I'm gonna stick my head in the sand and act like it's not happening, it doesn't exist, you know. And like I said, I don't care who is in office and who's out of office. God is still on the throne, and it is time. It is time. It is time to draw near to the Lord. So.
And with that, we're going to close out, you know what I'm saying, with our praises due to the Most High. Everybody have a peaceful and graceful night. And understand on this journey in life from a kingdom woman, a church woman
to a
kingdom woman. Yes.
Good night.
Y'all have a great night. We have to redo that last part. For sure. Oh, Keisha crying. Y'all like that? We're great. Thank y'all. We had a great production team. Thank you for your support, young lady. You was quiet. You did your role great. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Thank you for the visit.
Quiet.
You were. Yeah.
Oh, Lord. What are you doing all this crying for?
But when I thought about it, like, I really became emotional because I get so sad thinking about some people just don't know.
They
And it just
don't.
really overwhelmed me in that moment. I can't even explain it. Like,
But see, look how God just put you out there and just let you expose your true nature to the world, that you're caring and sensitive. And that's the thing that you need to do because that's who you are. That's the natural brand of my
Yeah.
baby. And look at her. She cries and she
yeah, because
rejoices.
there's so many people that are lost, and there's so many people that are hungry and want to know the love of God.
And you got the courage to get out there and tell them that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
man, I wasn't
at
even expecting it. Like, it
Well, you was
just,
expecting something, baby. Expecting something when you using that shit like this, man. You was expecting something. I don't know. I'm glad you got something unexpected today.
yeah, like it was just like, I don't know. It just came to me like so many people that just need to know, and it is like I have a desire, and especially for people that I do know and people that I do meet, and just imagine the ones that I don't know, and like I said, people that come in that want to know about God, or they know about God, they were raised in a church, or at some point something happened along the way where there was a misrepresentation of God, that needs to be talked about. A lot of people don't want to talk about the church hurt. Well, we are the church. What's the word?
Iglesias.
Yeah, we are the church. And it does matter how we treat our brothers and sisters in Christ. It matters. And it has to be discussed. So, yeah.
I think it's a beautiful thing that you was up there doing the production for your mama, for we can get our voice out.
Yeah.
Just like she has the courage to do it, you got the courage to do it. And you can do it.
Yeah.
And as you learn to do this shit, you're going to be teaching us how to do this shit. You know what I mean? But yeah, that's how you look at it, man. I'm going to have the courage just to put my mama thing out there. Yeah, it's ain't gonna always be my best shit at the time, cause I ain't got that yet to my best shit.
Cause it ain't always about
my best shit.
The lights, the cameras, the acts. Sometimes it's just about getting
how
the word
you capture it.
Sometimes we think it gotta look like, cause I know that goes in that to the perfectionism.
I mean, I get that. I think it's just, I know I can be more efficient.
Yeah,
but see, the more you got to work for efficiency.
Always praise God. That's right, Kennedy. Always praise God.